Morning, folks. Coffee and news time. So last night, for the first time in a long while, Nikita and the guys at BSG, they had their Tarkov TV live podcast on Twitch. And we were all kind of hoping that there's going to be quite a bit of news, which there was, because the game, we're mid-wipe, game has grown quite stale, with not a lot to do, and there's a lot of problems and fixes that needs to happen within the game. They did not disappoint. So first thing that they talked about is the new Lighthouse expansion. And for people that don't know, if you go into the Lighthouse map, you can basically only go until, I think, about that car, somewhere there-ish, before you get shot at. Or is it that car? Anyway, the Lighthouse expansion will be around that area. And then Nikita also mentioned that they are they're going to expand the waterworks area. So this area up here, kind of interested to see what they're going to do with that. Now they're going to expand that. I'm really wondering if it's not going to be somewhere there. The one part of the photos that they released that did catch my eye, and this does look gorgeous. I mean, if you look at this, the map down here, this is the 3D vertical map that I have, and you look going up that path type effect, and you see this, it's going to be interesting, spend a couple of raids getting shot there, mold and leave. The one thing that did catch my eye was this photo, and there's a whole series of photos that they released as well as the video. I'm going to play it. We always try and keep these things under 5 minutes. Now that's the reserve dome. Behind reserve dome is one of the PMC extracts where you need Red Rebel, you need a armored rig, not just armor, as well as paracord to be able to extract there. So going to be interesting to see how they incorporate that and where it is. Then the other thing that obviously was super cool is the trader, the lighthouse keeper, will see and explore how this happens. Obviously with the day job, etc. The moment it releases, there will probably be some of the other streamers like Smitty Stone, Rainguard, etc. that'll go for it, and then they will do guides on it. Should be interesting because there's apparently going to be a lighthouse boss as well. We don't know. Somebody picked up that in this picture at the back there, it looks like a Ku Klux Klan member with a hat standing there. New lighthouse boss. I don't know. So the lighthouse expansion's coming. They didn't say exactly when. We're hoping soon. Then they also released a bunch of videos of new things happening, and I'm just going to run it through VLC's playlist. The first one is DLSS. You're going to have choices of either at off, quality, balanced, performance. Now DLSS is NVIDIA's dynamic learning super sampling, I think, and it's a feature that the RTX cards have. So if you've got an RTX 20 or 30 series, you can enable DLSS, and it's supposed to give you better performance. Go read up about it. It's all about the actual learning what textures should be where, instead of reading up the texture and then processing it, blah blah, fish based. What was interesting is on their comparison, there we go, that's the screen I was looking for. This is the infamous bridge on customs. They say no DLSS FPS 77. Now, they didn't give us any sort of indication on what card this was, if this was a 3090 Ti or possibly just a 3050. There's a big difference, but for people running 144 Hertz monitors, it's going to be a huge difference. Or people running something like a 3080 or a 3090 and they're still stuck on 60-70 FPS. It's going to be a huge difference, especially on Lighthouse, which has been notoriously difficult for getting decent frames on. So then the next one, which is interesting, they showed is you've got a flare gun, and I'm going to skip through it. You fire your own flare, and the plane comes in, and okay, move on, there we go. And you've got your own airdrop. All right, and there's your own airdrop. Nikita said there'll be a limited amount of these allowed per, I how can I say, per raid. Plus, if you're in a full 5-man, you can't call in 5 of those at a time. So it's going to be interesting. With airdrops being nerfed so badly that the containers aren't even full and you hardly ever get a slick or anything decent out of it, I think it's going to be a very big setup feature early in wipe. You want to get shooterborn, you throw a flare and you go and sit in the bush 100 meters away. It's a nice concept. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice concept. I just don't know how viable it is. Unless you also want to distract people from a certain area, that could be quite cool. I'm thinking you call the airdrop in quite a bit away. Let's say Old Sawmill, and then you take the vehicle extract while everybody goes to Old Sawmill to see what you're doing there. You take the vehicle extract. There's interesting scenarios, So I think it's going to be an interesting one. Now, the one thing we've been all asking for is daily quests, being able to re-roll. I cannot wait for this. So if you eliminate. Alright, so let me pause there first. Eliminate scavs while using SMGs or shotguns. So currently it is at the level that I'm 62, and I see it goes even worse higher. It's like eliminate scavs with a shotgun with a left or a right leg shot over 35 meters, something like that. So the tasks get more ridiculous. Or get a weekly extract labs 24 times. I'm not going to do it. We've been pleading for some sort of reroll feature. So the first thing that they do is they give you an alternate. Instead of just shotguns, you can use SMGs. That's very cool because some people don't like using shotguns. I actually don't mind it. And then the other one is the ability to reroll the quest. Okay, so they don't show that. Essentially what you are going to do is you're going to have a choice to re-roll it, but it is going to cost you 0.01 reputation with the trader. Now I've got max traders. I've had it since day 11 days into the wipe, so I don't mind that. So instead of doing a daily to boost your rep, the daily is just going to keep your rep equal. Now my mic's attacking me again. But it's going to be pretty cool to have the option of doing it, especially if there's a lot of XP involved in it, especially for guys that are now, let's say, level 55 and they're trying to get to 62 to cap up, being able to complete every task because maybe they don't play labs, maybe they don't have labs cards, maybe they don't want to go to woods, but they want to re-roll and get to custom, something like that. This is what we've been asking for. Very excited about it. Next thing, there is 2 new repair things coming out, and I'm going to essentially pause it there. Apparently there's going to be a weapons repair kit, so instead of right click repair with and then selecting one of the 3 vendors, you can use the weapon repair kit. I'm not sure what to make of it. What it will do is give you weapon repair skill, which will then, if you elite it, will from what I understand, give you 50% less durability burn on the weapons. I'm not sure what to make of this, Then if you go further on, it's also a armor repair kit. This is interesting. It takes 6 slots. So if you pick one up in a raid, I'm wondering if you can use it on a zeroed slick or something like that. If you see you've just been in a fight in labs, you've got a zeroed slick, and you pick that up, can you repair the slick in raid? That's kind of what I know. What I want to know. They're just kind of showing that you use it inside your hideout. Instead of selecting one of the traders, you do it yourself. Apparently these things are going to be quite scarce. So yeah, we'll see what comes of that. Then the other thing that they brought up, and I'm trying to finish this under 10 minutes now, is within your hideout where you can craft items, you used to use up a screwdriver, or you used to use up a sewing kit when you made something. Apparently these things are going to become much scarcer, so probably my recommendation is buy another scav junk box. collect as much of the shit as you can at the moment and dump it in your scav junk box, and then you go from there. So here again, you're just going to use the cricket lighter and it's returned into your inventory, but it's going to be much scarcer. So I suggest in the next couple of days, buy an extra scav junk box, collect as much of the shit as possible and just dump it in there. Or as Nikita jokingly said on the podcast last night, buy the stuff or flee. So which should be interesting to see. There was no big announcements around. There was no big announcements around the 1st of April. Logical Solutions did tweet that there was 556 no paintball airsoft pellets added to it, but yeah, that's kind of pretty much it. So yeah, when Lighthouse hits, not sure, but DLSS is definitely coming in the next week or two, which should make it should make Lighthouse and some of the other maps a lot more viable for other people, and I'm kind of looking forward to that. And yeah, hopefully this wipe can pick up a little bit of steam. We're halfway through. The fact that Nikita also said buy the stuff up now indicates that we're not going to have a wipe probably within the next couple of months. So hopefully we will see a large patch deployment in the next couple of weeks. We'll have the Lighthouse extension, etc. And then we'll have 3 months and wipe end of June, or we're going to have a 9-month wipe and then we're going to get streets. He says most of the artists, etc., and the crew are working on streets. They want to get streets out this year. Streets was supposed to release years ago, so we'll see. I think probably there's other things involved, like investors wanting to know when this game's going out of beta. He did speak about Arena. I've got very little interest in Arena, and I talk about it every time. So, but yeah, looking forward to the Lighthouse expansion, and kind of looking forward to DLSS and getting a little bit of better performance out of my 3060 Ti. All right, folks, that's all I've got for now. Have a fantastic day further. Take care. Cheers.